about who I am, what I do, and who my team is, and how we do insurance a little bit differently. I know it's a really familiar thing for most people. Yeah, that's our team. So my name's Tania McLaughlin. I own the Tania McLaughlin Agency of American Family Insurance, and I got started in this industry about 10 years ago now. Just quick history on me is I was 19, straight out of high school, looking for a career. Found a sales job here local in my hometown and absolutely loved it. I helped that agent build his book of business for his family from the bottom up. We were both promoted to corporate. I was there in sales management for about 4 years, honing my skills, getting my business degree, and then I became a business owner 3 years ago when I opened my first office up in Woodinville. So Maple Valley, I mentioned, is my hometown, my original agency. When that came available, I brought that in as my second location along with my mom, who is my operations manager. She's been there since day one, so she's got 10 years under her belt just like me. And it really is a family operation. That's really kind of how we do things different. My mentor taught me that if you go out there and you care about people and you advocate for people, that's when you're doing things right. You're going to enjoy what you do no matter what it is. And I found my niche in insurance because I find that there's a lot of education that happens with it. There's a lot of times where I sit down with people, I find out what it is that they need, highlight recommendations I have, and then I just help them with the choices. And I do that on a regular basis. It's never a one and done. It's a long-term relationship that I have with my customers, checking in year after year. I just had a family actually drive in from Port Orchard yesterday with their family of 3 and their little 2-week-old newborn Sarah, just to make sure that they had their insurance in order. And we did have some really big things to go over, and we were able to accomplish a lot in that. And they left with that sense of security that is the whole point of what I do. So not to ramble on that, but basically insurance is a paper and a promise, right? So you're signing a contract that these things will happen if something really catastrophic happens to you. So who do you have monitoring that for you over time? That's the question I have. So what we do is we're a team of professionals. It's not just me. I have licensed professionals along with me that are part of my team, that we give this advice that is tailored to you guys. That's contradictory to calling a 1-800 number. So probably the nicest way to put it is we look out for you and we advocate for you. We're a one-stop shop, so you can have all your things in one place. The unique part about my agency with American Family is we are what they call captive agents with American Family, so we sell American Family product. However, we do have a brokerage department that I'm very fluent in. So I can shop other carriers just like an independent broker could. So I end up being a bit of a happy medium in that regard, and that's why I specialize in commercial insurance. It's one of my favorite things to talk about is being a business owner, figuring out how everyone's business is a little bit different and what kind of plan you need to have in place. Because there's about 20 different pieces that exist in commercial insurance, but there might only be 3 or 4 key pieces that you actually need. And if I could, take a look at that. So tenured, between our team, we have 45 plus years of experience across the team. I mentioned that we're family. The value to you, I would say if I were to touch on claim advice, I'm not sure if everyone knows that when you contact an insurance company and you have a claim question, 9 times out of 10, you're actually opening a claim when you have that question. And it's because there are protocols in place to make sure that you're protected. For example, if you call and say, hey, I had this happen in my home, I want to know if this is something I should submit. If you're talking to a call center or a 1-800 number, they're opening that on your file and they're getting an adjuster assigned to you, which is good. They're trying to get you in touch with somebody. But do you really want to open that claim? What if you find out a couple days later when you talk to that expert that, this actually isn't covered on your policy and here's why, or someone else is at fault for this, maybe we should go through that route first. That's what having an agent or a local team is a benefit to you, because number one, I tell all of my customers, call me first, call my team first, because we can offer that coaching and advice ahead of time. And I would say a good almost majority, about 40% of the claims that I coach on are through other companies that, hey, this person hit you, they're very clearly at fault, let's have you open the claim on that policy and see where that goes. And I'm gonna be here waiting in the wings giving advice, and if we need to step in with your policy on the back end, we definitely can. But that's the kind of advice in keeping your claim record clean that I think gets missed in a lot of the direct companies, you know, going online, going to a 1-800 number. It's great for efficiency, but there are still some situations where you need that kind of traditional professional eyes on something. So that's something that I help with every day. Let's see here. New driver consults. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard that obviously we do insurance quotes, we do claims handling, we do annual reviews, but one thing that gets overlooked a lot is while adults are fairly familiar with insurance, new drivers are definitely not. It's nothing that I ever learned in high school, even driver's ed for that matter, is how insurance works, what it's for, and what in the world to do if you're on the side of the road in your very first accident, fender bender, what have you. So that's what I offer my customers is if you have a new driver, have them come in for 5 to 10 minutes. It's nothing over the top, but I talk directly with new drivers about what to do when you're on the side of the road, because unfortunately a lot of their knee-jerk reactions is to say, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you. Which as soon as you've admitted fault, it opens just a Pandora's box for the other side of the claim, litigation, and all of that. And actually coming from all of that recently, a lot of my friends were in that boat, so that's something that I take very seriously. Accessibility, so I mentioned that we're kind of based in traditional values as far as meeting in person. I still do a lot of in-home appointments. I come to people where they are, and my team does too, to make sure that they have what they need in a time frame that works for them. And I also take a look at every home that we write to make sure that we have that accurate as well. So those traditional core values are countered by our accessibility. We have the ability to text us, call us, message us online, email, and the email goes to my entire team rather than maybe one person. So sometimes if someone's out sick, the ball gets dropped. We have a queue. So everyone on my team specifically has access to make sure that people are taken care of quickly. The newest development is we do have a My AmFam app, and I know a lot of companies have apps now. My favorite thing about it is those proof of insurance cards that you're required to carry if you get pulled over. Those tend to expire, and a lot of people call and say, oh my goodness, I have my one from a year or two ago. And they're in the middle of a situation, last thing they want to do is try and call our office and get that sent out. We do it quickly, but the My AmFam app has it electronically. And electronic proof of insurance cards mean, one, they never expire, and two, it was actually passed 4 years ago that police officers are required to accept that as proof of insurance, and they cannot cite you. So that's one thing to know too. But the other thing I like about the app is you have access to all policies, billing, and you can self-serve as much as you want, but if you need us, the local team, there's a message button, and you can kick a request right over to us, and then we get back to it. So we like to kind of balance those traditional values with today's cutting-edge accessibility. Finally, the reason that I've chosen American Family, I mentioned I'm a captive agent, but I'm not an employee of American Family. And the reason I point that out is I am my own business owner. I've chosen American Family to have a contract with them, sell their products, because they're an amazing company. They have awesome resources. I love everybody over on that side. But really when it comes down to it, I'm your advocate, right? So I mentioned in the claims process how we give advice. I also go to bat for people, sometimes against my own American Family company. It just depends on what's right for the situation. But the reason that I'm with American Family, I'm 10 years in, I've been in corporate, behind the corporate veil if you will, I've been in the field a number of times. It's an integral company and it's an innovative company. And that's what I wanted to highlight here is it would take a very long time to go through all the things that American Family is doing to innovate. Number one, we're going to get in the hands of customers here in a couple months, is called Know Your Drive. It's usage-based insurance, and if you guys haven't heard of it, it's very similar to Metromile, where rather than saying, here are all the stats we know about you, and we're going to spit out what we think your rate should be based on what we think your claims are going to be, they actually have you track your driving. And we say, you know what, we'll give you a rate based on how much you actually drive and the quality of that driving. So it's an option. Not everybody has to do it. It's just if that's how you prefer to calculate your rate, that's what we do. And specifically our program, I like the fact that it gives you a discount for good driving behavior, and it does not penalize you for bad driving behavior. Good to know. Yes. The other part of that, we use that same app-based platform for Teen Safe Driver. So going into those new driver consults, first thing I do with young drivers is sign them up for the Teen Safe Driver program, which tracks their driving. It gives them a score. It's basically feedback on their driving habits. So right from the get-go, they can start learning what is safe and what is not safe. And the parent has a partner account. Not so much to be Big Brother. It's not like a video camera in the car. It's just you can consult and compare scores, talk about driving behavior, and make sure that they're out there driving safely. Because unfortunately, the statistics are true. I have claims right now, two specifically, where one young driver just got his license. He's been in 2 at-fault accidents already, just in a matter of 60 days. And then I don't know why, a slew at the beginning of the year of young drivers that had claims that their parents didn't know about. So having kind of a hands-on approach to that driving behavior, I'm a really big fan of. So that's why I like our Teen Safe Driver program. And very finally, we're really getting deep into finding out how we can utilize artificial intelligence, machine learning. One of the ways that they're actually bringing that to fruition that helps customers right now is an AI chatbot named Abby. Now, I'll preface this with, I just said I'm a local team and we are humans. Call us. That's how you still interact. I will not set up a phone prompted system for my customers to go through to get to us. That's not what this is. For catastrophic claims, when we have a situation hit and thousands of people are impacted at once, our claims department gets overrun. And we have a catastrophic claims team that handles that. Well, what they're doing now is using a chatbot like Abby to do the intake on all of those claims so they can handle those thousands of people without having to have them wait on hold, get a call back when their house is flooded, a tornado ripped their house apart, or what I'm anticipating our event to be is something close to an earthquake or a volcanic eruption. So what the chatbot does is it puts in those claims, sends a ticket over to the adjuster to contact the customer right away, and she does all of that administrative work in the blink of an eye. So that's the kind of stuff that American Families putting time and effort into developing so that I have that in the field to help my people face to face and my team to do the same thing. So that's really, I think, all the talking points I had for today and how we do things a little bit different. We're right up the road in Four Corners here in Maple Valley, and I'm Tania McLaughlin with American Family Insurance.
That's awesome.